Subjects of law are persons capable of holding rights and obligations. A person is defined as a human being or an entity recognized by the legal system as capable of possessing rights and having responsibilities. This recognition forms the foundation of the legal framework governing societal interactions and responsibilities. In our country, our Constitution and the Federal Civil Code recognize and provide rights to both individuals and organizations, ensuring them protection. Our Constitution refers to these entities as persons in various articles, while our Civil Code dedicates specific chapters to physical and another to legal entities. Our Civil Code recognizes a natural person as a living human being, which is recognized by our law with rights and responsibilities. They can enter contracts, own property, and enjoy legal protection. They are distinguished by their physical presence and personal autonomy. By the other hand, legal entities, which are also called juridical persons, are entities with legal existence formed by individuals or organizations. They can exercise rights, take obligations, own properties. Example of those, we can mention corporations, partnerships, foundations, and they are identified by their name or corporate title. According to our Article 25 of our Civil Code, legal persons include the nation, states, municipalities, public corporations, civil or commercial society, professional unions, cooperative and mutual society, any association with lawful persons. Foreign private legal entities are also recognized as juridical persons in our country. But why do we call them juridical persons? Well, because they are legal entities, they exist under our laws, but without a physical presence. They operate independently from their owners, which offers advantages like limited liability, which protects their members' personal assets in a legal or financial matters when they have credits. Elements of these legal entities include legal capacity and free will, adoption of a legal form specified by law. They have rights and obligations, and they have the ability to possess rights. They can enter contracts and own properties. Legal personhood is the recognition ability under the law for those entities, whether they are individuals or they are organizations. They have rights and obligations. Individuals gain legal capacity automatically at birth, while legal entities acquire it upon formal establishment, enabling them to act independently with similar rights and obligations as individuals. Legal entities acquire legal personality by registering their articles of incorporation in the Public Register of Commerce and obtaining taxpayer register from the Tax Administration Office. At that time, they can enter into contracts, sue and be sued on properties, and they exist independently of the person who created them. They provide limited liability from owners and members. They are fictitious entities. They don't have real physical existence, but they are created and recognized by the law. Therefore, they assert the rights and incurring obligations through their legal representatives. These powers and faculties are conferred upon them in the documents that create them, such as statutes or articles of incorporation. Attributes of natural person and legal entity, they are these characteristics. They share characteristics, persons like legal entities and individuals. And they are crucial for the full participation in society and frameworks. They have the same attributes or they have the same characteristics. And let's go and see the difference between these characteristics. The first characteristic is capacity, which is the aptitude to hold rights and duties, enable the person to be active and passive subject. Legal entities acquire capacity at the time they are formed. When they are formed by their articles of incorporation, they are able to enter into contracts and do business. Natural persons acquire capacity by two types of capacity: capacity of enjoyment and capacity of exercise. Capacity of enjoyment, individuals have them from birth. We are born with a capacity of enjoyment. That means that we have the right to have education, for example. While capacity of exercise, we acquire it upon adulthood. At that time, we can execute acts such as owning properties and making contracts. Minors, under their guardianships, have limited capacity. Both natural persons and legal entities have their name. For natural person, our name is formed by our first and two surnames, while for legal entity, they have a corporate name or business name, which is in both cases, it is essential to identify them for a legal entity in a legal context and for conducting business. Domicile, our address. Natural persons and legal entities both have the aptitude or have the characteristic to own an address. For a natural person is the place in which we live, for a legal entity is a place in which they perform their activities, their legal activities. For what is a patrimony, we have the same. It's the refer of the set of goods and rights, obligations, the collective assets. For legal persons, it is the kind of money in which they have to perform their activities. And it is completely different from the money, the assets a natural person has. As for a marital statute, only individuals have this attribute. It is the statute of having been married or being married, divorced or separate. This attribute is not an attribute for legal entities because they can't in any way be married at all. National, our nationality is where we belong. It's a territorial space. For legal entities, it's where they are incorporated. For our laws, any entity, it doesn't matter. It's an international entity, foreign entity. When it's incorporated in Mexico, it's considered to have Mexican nationality. These attributes are important because they allow for identification and distinguish of each person or legal. They establish the capacity to hold and exercise rights as well as to assume obligations. They ensure protection and recognition for fundamental rights. They define the capacity of a person or entity to held accountable for their actions and legal decisions, providing the basis of legal responsibility and autonomy.